kid, have you ever heard of Engelman the Footloose Christmas Spruce? Because I hadn't until I picked up this little book at the Los Angeles Festival of Books.
Whoa!
Whoa! Do you see what I see?
Do you see what I see?
He kind of looks...
Just like me?
Yeah.
I am definitely winning the ugly sweater contest this year.
Yeah, I think you are. Engelman the Footloose Christmas Spruce. Who is he? What's he about? It's kind of about the origins of... let's just discover together. A forlorn young spruce stood 6 feet tall, with feathery branches of green, but that's not all. Forlorn, by the way, he's like, wah, wah. He's kind of blue, even though he's green, but you know what I mean. For he was the only one among the treelings that had what you might call feelings. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Was it just evergreen evolution or the start of a botanical revolution?
Whoa, this book is not at all what I was expecting.
Me neither. It sounds very interesting. Now, waiting patiently on the Christmas tree lot, he watched with sadness as his mates got bought. Off they go to other people's houses. Customers looked him up and down and they all said, too short, too tall, too big, too small. Oh, he's just not right for anybody yet. Because there's always somebody. And as Christmas time neared, he often feared that he'd end up spending the holiday among the weird. Pink flocked trees no one wanted year after year. And he asked himself, what am I doing here? His question was answered by a family named Hurley, which numbered 5, all dark-haired and curly. They loaded him up, and when they got him home, placed him in the den, where he was never alone. Ah, see? Told you you'd find your own place in the world, you tree with feelings, you. Dressed with antique treasures of hand-blown glass, which hung beside trimmings the kids made in class, with a pipe cleaner star, and it must be mentioned, he certainly loved being the center of attention. I hear you there. The family said, it's our best Christmas tree ever. Have we had a better one? No, never. They played festive songs and sang in harmony that old classic carol, Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. The kids hung popcorn, though they ate nearly a mile. But as they draped it, it seemed to smile. Under 2 shiny balls, wait, did one of them wink? Asked one of the kids. You know what I think? This isn't an ordinary tree. We have to give him a name. So they thought, but nothing came. Till one read his species name on his tag. Let me introduce the one, the only, Engelman, the spruce. Oh, I see. So Engelman is actually the name of his tree type. Well now, next year when I'm at the Christmas tree lot, I'm going to have to look for an Engelman. Maybe he has feelings. What do you think, Engelman? Of a box made of shells. And the tree answered by ding, ding, ling, 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 ringing its bells. The children's eyes widened. I think he approves. Who would believe it? But I just saw him move. On Christmas Eve, Mom read the kids' favorite stories, reciting Night Before Christmas like repertory. They switched off the lights, all except for Engelman the spruce, turning the walls golds and reds, silvers and blues. That's right, because his lights are sparkling and lighting up the room. His reflection resembled a thick forest on the ceiling, creating an enchanted, magical feeling. The kids went to bed without any fight and told Engelman, thank you, good tree, and good night. Then, the next morning, being Christmas Day, the eager young children could finally play. Let's see what's under the tree. But gotta make sure I don't skip an important page. With all the toys Santa Claus had just brought them and the other goodies their parents had bought them, the Hurley took photos in front of the tree and Engelman felt he was part of the family. He was happy until an artificial wreath, I think he said his name was Heath, said, enjoy it now. Christmas season is brief. Engelman simply stared at him in disbelief. Oh, Heath, you just come to poop on the party, didn't you? And Mrs. Hurley thought it no longer cool, to vacuum pine needles, so she got boxes and stool, and without giving Engelman the chance to dissent, she stripped off his lights and each ornament. The kid said, no, Mama, the tree is her friend. But she said, sorry, my dears, all good things must end. Oh, no. Wah, wah. Engelman joined the ex-Christmas trees, growing brown in the heat, lying forgotten out there on the street, with just a few remaining stray lines of tinsel. Their wood, no good for even a pencil. Engelman had felt like he was the Christmas host, and it distressed him to know that he'd soon be compost.
Oh no, the story has suddenly taken a very dark turn. Ugh.
I know, but it's not over yet. It's not over yet, so maybe it'll get better. The kids sadly said bye as they walked to the bus stop. Their mother said, this is an attitude that you must drop. Is all this truly necessary? We go through it every January. I don't suppose you all remember that we'll get another tree come next December? Oh, sorry. I got coffee. I guess I got, I got
Emotional. You got emotional because of trees. Gonna end up in the compost heap.
Are you getting sentimental, Greenberg?
No!
I beg to differ. And the kid said, no, this year is different. We think Engelman might be intelligent. Their mother said, go to school. The tree leaves today. They knew she meant business and went on their way. Oh, no. The tragedy of ex-Christmas trees. So Engelman stood on the street, stripped and humbled. And soon he heard it and felt a low rumble, growing strong as a voracious recycling truck loomed. And when he saw what it did, Engelman knew he was doomed, as mechanized arms plucked the tree across the street and threw it in the back, where it was chopped into peat. That was a fate that Engelman did refuse, and somehow or other managed to infuse the powers of movement in his crosswood base. And so Mrs. Hurley had to give chase. Oh, she saw it and she's chasing Engelman now? Well, surely she'll realize now that the tree is intelligent after all. Engelman dashed down the street at such a great speed, a cop thought he was a big green tumbleweed. Mrs. Hurley cried, oh, please stop my Christmas tree. And Engelman thought, forget it, lady, you can't catch me. He ran past the school bus, stopped at the light, and all the kids cheered the remarkable sight. The Hurley kid shouted, run, Engelman, run! There was never a ride to school quite this much fun. As the bus stopped for some new kids climbing aboard, the Hurleys leaped out the back, but they were ignored. Oh, thank goodness, because otherwise they would have made them get back on the bus and they would have missed all the excitement that's surely about to unfold in the next few pages. They ran to catch Engelman, raced in his direction, ducked behind parked cars to avoid Mom's detection. The Hurley kid sneakers slipped, squished, and sloshed when they had to chase Engelman through the local car wash. Well, he'll come out clean, albeit wet. They all ran through the mall but had to bail when folks tried to buy Engelman in an after-Christmas sale. Oh, a plucky brown puppy lunged and barked as Engelman and the kids ran past through the park. The Hurleys cornered Engelman near a thick grove of pines and brainstormed a plan like little Einsteins. Engelman, they urged him, instead of causing a riot, if you stand still right here, maybe she'll buy it. Notice how Engelman blends in, except for the shoes, of course, but he could just bury those in the snow and nobody will be any the wiser. So Engelman stopped to blend in and then froze to look part of the grove as crows perched on his nose. Ow. Mrs. Hurley had left on a few scattered things, and hungry the birds pecked at his popcorn strings. They picked off his tinsel to use for their nests, while the kids tried to shoo them off, the big pests. The kids hid behind Engelman as their mother approached. They knew if she found them, they'd be soundly reproached. That means... As Mrs. Hurley came close, Engelman couldn't stay in his pose, for the great big bird tickling him did expose that this was their own Engelman the spruce, and his stint as a park tree was simply a ruse. As he hopped and shook to pry the birds loose, Mrs. Hurley spied him and the kids, but opted for a truce. Oh, thank goodness, a truce. Because, I mean, now she sees that the tree is not your average, everyday ex-Christmas tree. Obviously. To the kids, I'll drive you to school, but won't fake any passes. You'll take the heat from your teachers in all of your classes. To Engelman, dear tree, despite your agility, you're still my responsibility. And as deep down, all trees desire stability. When Mrs. Hurley said, let's figure this out, Engelman gave up and went back to the house. Okay, well, I mean, he's back home. This is not a bad thing. So the kids left for school and Engelman stood still in the yard, waiting and waiting. The waiting is hard. But when the children came home, hey, and saw him next to the gnome, they sprang towards him, hugged him, and cheered, which made something happen that's really quite weird. Poor Engelman, he is just looking skinnier by the minute. But what happened? Oh, look, do you see what's happening? After the hug, at the end of his trunk, Engelman sprouted shoots, which dug into the ground, becoming roots. Then the life's blood of a tree, the sap, started flowing, and everyone knew that Engelman would be going nowhere. Mom even said she'd rather liked Engelman's spot. He'll shield the house well when the weather turns hot. So now the children enjoy Engelman all through the year. And he's happy too, the one-time mutineer. There are peaceful picnics under his shade, as well as many a wild escapade. For all Engelman wanted was to be loved always, not just for the brief Christmas holidays. Can't blame you there, tree. We want love all year round. And now that the cones sprung on Engelman's branches have sprouted, the Hurleys have Christmas tree ranches. So when you pick out your tree come next Christmas season, if it gets foot loose, for whatever the reason, now you know the truth and can safely deduce it's not just any Christmas tree. It's a descendant of Engelman, the spruce. The end. And that was not bad at all.
Although it looked like it was going to get bad all of a sudden. But then it turned out that the tree will never go away. It will always be part of the family. I love the story. And now I know what happened to that tree that ran off.
Oh, yeah. Must have been a relative of Engelman.
Do you think our tree is a relative of Engelman now?
Well, I guess we'll have to keep an eye on the roots.
Uh-huh.
And after we take the decorations off, you'll have to hug it.
I can do that.
And then we'll see what happens.
Ooh, Christmas magic. Oh, okay, I gotta go. The Gully Christmas sweater party is going on, and I'm definitely gonna be a shoo-in to win. Oh, and Merry Christmas!
That's right, Merry Christmas from Kid Time. Sir?
Story time!